everyone! For today's video, I'm going to discuss and enumerate to you the postmodernism and modernism or the modern culture in a worldwide view using any educational application. But the first thing that we have to do is to find out the meaning of modernism or the modern culture and postmodernism. So, what really is modernism? Modernism refers to a global movement in society and culture that from the early decades of the 20th century sought a new alignment with the experience and values of modern industrial life. And how about postmodernism? Postmodernism is a broad movement that developed in the mid to late 20th century across philosophy, the arts, architecture, and criticism, marking a departure from modernism. The term has been more generally applied to describe a historical era said to follow after modernity and the tendencies of this era. And according to its worldview, everything is subjective and nothing is stable. And now, let's move on and dig deeper on our main topic for today about postmodernism and modern culture. Postmodernism in the 1960s. Although the term postmodern had been in cultural circulation since the 1870s, it is only in the late 1950s and 1960s that we see the beginnings of what is now understood as postmodernism. In the work of Susan Sontag and Leslie Fedler, we encounter the celebration of what Sontag calls a new sensibility. John Francois Lyotard. John Francois Lyotard's principal contribution to the debate on postmodernism is The Postmodern Condition, published in France in 1979 and translated into English in 1984. The influence of this book on the debate has been enormous. In many respects, it was this book that introduced the term postmodernism into academic circulation. Jean Baudrillard. Jean Baudrillard, according to the Best and Kellner, has achieved guru status throughout the English-speaking world. They claim that Baudrillard has emerged as one of the most high-profile postmodern theorists. His presence has not been confined to the world of academia. Articles and interviews have appeared in many popular magazines. Fredric Jameson. Fredric Jameson is an American Marxist cultural critic who has written a number of very influential essays on postmodernism. Where Jameson differs from other theorists is in his insistence that postmodernism can best be theorized from within a Marxist or neo-Marxist framework. For Jameson, postmodernism is more than just a particular cultural style. It is above all a periodizing concept. Postmodern pop music. Andrew Goodwin has quite correctly pointed out that Jameson's compressed time-span solution, pop music, culture's rapid progression through realism, modernism, postmodernism, enabling Jameson to establish a modernist movement against which to mark out a postmodernist response is a very difficult argument to sustain. Postmodern television. Television, like pop music, does not have a period of modernism to which it can be posed, but, as Jim Collins points out, television is often seen as the quintessence of postmodern culture. This claim can be made on the basis of a number of television's textual and contextual features. Postmodernism and the pluralism of value. The selective tradition, as Williams points out, postmodernism is governed by many kinds of special interests, including class interests. particular interest articulated in a specific social band historical context always informs selective information of tradition. The global postmodernism. One manner in which the world is said to be being postmodern is by its growing globalization. In this case, imperialism is the supposedly prosperous imposition of American culture around the world, with the economic prosperity of American capitalism underpinned by the cultural works that goods supposedly perform in effectively destroying indigenous societies and forcing an American way of life on local populations. Convergence culture. Another aspect of the postmodern is convergence culture, where old and new media collide, where grassroots and corporate media intersect, where the power of the media producer and the power of the media consumer interact in unpredictable ways. Convergence involves the flow of media content across a range of different platforms. This is not simply a matter of new technologies, but a process that requires the active participation of consumers. So, that's it for today. I hope you learned something.